Hello everybody, this is Moose101, and today I'll be giving you guys my Gusto deck profile. I haven't done a deck profile in a while, and actually I've had these done for a little bit, and I just thought I'd go ahead and give it to you guys now, so I'll get right into it. So, first of all, I have 3 Pilica, Descendant of Gusto. Her effect is that when she is normal or special summoned, you can special summon a a Wind Tuner monster from your graveyard. She's a very easy Synchro play card. She can also make Xyz plays occasionally because you just grab a level 3 tuner, and then you go off. And if you use her effect, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except for wind monsters, and you can only use her effect once per turn. So she's a very good card. Playing around with restrictions is kind of an important part of building the extra deck mostly, but it's really not that bad, and she just opens up so many players of the deck. I think she's very important at 3. Next up I have 3 Gusto Gulldo. When he is destroyed by battle or by card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a level 2 or lower Gusto monster from your deck. He's one of several kind of recruiters the archetype has for them, and I run 3 different ones in this deck personally, but there are others you could run. Gulldo's probably the best because he's very versatile, and he's also the most important Pilica target because it allows you to go into your best Synchro monster, arguably. And so he's very important at 3, but I also have 3 Gusto Egul, which if it's destroyed by battle, not by card effect, then you can special summon a level 4 or lower non-tuner Gusto monster from your deck. So Egul can grab other recruiters, or you can also grab Pilica if you really want to. That allows you to use her effect on your opponent's turn, and then you can use it again on your turn, which is one good way to kind of play around that once per turn effect that she has. And then the last one is just 2 Winda, the Priestess of Gusto. When she's destroyed by battle with an opponent's attacking monster, you can special summon a Gusto tuner monster from your deck. She's definitely the least versatile of the bunch because she can't ram to get her effect and she can't destroy by card effects, but she is important for just kind of making sure you land on the right Gusto monster you want to have on your board when your turn begins. So I think she's good at 2 just to have that option. Next up I have 1 Caam, Serenity of Gusto. Her effect is that once per turn you can shuffle 2 Gusto monsters from your graveyard back into the deck to draw 1 card. Mostly I just use her as just a level 4 non-tuner Gusto. She opens up some different plays if I need to make a certain monster sometimes. But I mean her effect is nice too every now and then. You can run her 2. I don't think it's necessary, but I don't think it would hurt. It's really up to you. Next up I have 3 Gusto Griffin. If he is sent from the hand to the graveyard, you can special summon a Gusto monster from your deck. So his effect is very good, but activating it is actually kind of hard in a Gusto deck because they themselves don't really have good effects that require you to discard. So then I run a few cards to kind of help activate that effect for him, which is 2 Quickdraw Synchron, because you can discard a monster to special summon him from your hand. He's also a Wind Tuner monster, meaning that you can use Pilica to bring him back, and it also allows you to make Chevalier de Fleur, which is a very fun monster. And 3 Hushed Psychic Cleric. Psychic Cleric's deal is that when it is summoned, it's changed to defense position, and then you can discard a card to target a a psychic monster in your graveyard and banish it, and then when Cleric is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon the monster that you banished with this effect. There's a very cool combo involving Griffin, Cleric, Pilica, and Gulldo that just involves discarding Griffin to pay for Cleric's effect, and then using Griffin's effect to special summon Gulldo, and then synchroing using the Cleric and the Gulldo after the Cleric has banished the Pilica, allowing you to bring back the Pilica, bring back the Gulldo again, and make a second level 6 Synchro monster. It's kind of a difficult combo, I guess you could say, to pull off. It's not like it's something I do every game, but it's also not something that's incredibly rare to do. And lastly, I just have the 1/1-for-1. This is a card that I haven't done a whole lot of testing with, but I like it in theory. I think it has potential to be really good, because you can discard Griffin to pay for its cost, potentially allowing you to make like a level 5 or level 4 Synchro monster very easily, just by grabbing a Caam or a Pilica. And I mean, I want to test this a little bit. I didn't really get the chance to make the video, but I didn't really want to put it off any longer, so it goes back and forth. Ultimately, I'll probably drop it once Emergency Teleport is reprinted, because I don't have any copies of that yet, and I will want to run Emergency teleport at 3 as soon as it's not like $20 a copy. Moving on to the spell lineup, I have 3 Miracle Synchro Fusion. You special summon a fusion monster from your extra deck, or you fusion summon it, by banishing materials from your side of the field or the graveyard, but that fusion monster must require a synchro monster as one of the materials. And then if this card is destroyed by card effects that have it set and they MST it, you get to draw a card. So ultimately, I like it because it is an incredibly easy way to make boss monsters late into the game. It has some other plays that it can do. But ultimately, I also think it's worth having at 3 just because if you set it, it oftentimes does get MST'd for the draws. I mean, I won't rely on that, but it can be nice, and it's a good kind of bait card if you set this with some traps. I go back and forth between 2 and 3 on this. I'll probably drop to 2 again once I have emergency teleports, but for now it's a 3. 3 Pot of Duality. Making sure you open with one of your recruiters is very important, but you're not going to be special summoning on your first turn usually anyways, so Pot of Duality is a very good consistency card in the deck. 3 creature swap. Gulldo and Egul can both get their effects even if you destroyed them while they were in your opponent's possession and then they came back to your graveyard. So creature swapping those off, or dead griffins or whatever, and just stealing your opponent's monsters is very fun. It's a very trolly card, and it's incredibly good in this deck particularly, so excellent at 3. 2 Forbidden Dress and 2 MST are what I'm trying currently for my back row hate. I like Dress because it can stop your opponent from targeting monsters you control with monster effects, so keeping really Daigusto Sphreez is the important card to keep safe in this deck. So if you have it on the field and then your opponent goes into like a 101, you can just activate this, and then find some way of dealing with Honor Arc on your next turn and just, you know, not have to lose it right away. And MST is important just because the deck is hurt by floodgates like Vanity's Emptiness and Skill Drained, and it can also get around other cards that Dress just really doesn't protect you from, things like Fiendish Chain, because you can't actually chain Dress to stop it from targeting because it targets at activation. I have 1 Dark Hole, which is just in place of Raigeki for now. I think that's somewhat self-explanatory. The deck doesn't have a whole lot of destruction in and of its own, but Dark Hole can be kind of useful. 1 Breakthrough Skill, because monster effects are really painful. I mentioned that already with, you know, Dress stopping your Sphreez from getting taken by like 101 or removed from the board by Castell. And honestly, I just think it's a pretty good card in the deck because it also gives a little bit more problem-solving ability with like low attack monsters that you can't just ram into for days and burn your opponent to death with. And then I just have a few standard traps: Bottomless, Torrential, Compulsory, and Solemn. Alright, sorry for the sort of sudden transition there, but the video actually cut off right as I was finishing up the main deck. But I was on the last card, so I didn't really see a point in re-recording. So, moving on to the extra deck, I have 1 Daigusto Falcos. When it is synchro summoned, all Gusto monsters you control gain 600 attack, making itself 2000 on its summon. It's a nice option sometimes to just boost up the other Gusto synchro monsters you have to higher attack points. That's really all there is to it. 1 Underworld Fighter Balmung, he's kind of the more self-sufficient level 4. He's at 2100 attack, which is a little bit bigger than Falcos, and if he's destroyed by a card effect, you can target a level 4 or lower monster in your graveyard besides himself and special summon it. So, again, just a little bit more self-sufficient. 1 Daigusto Gulldos, it's the little bit of removal that the archetype actually has itself, because once per turn you can shuffle 2 Gusto monsters from your graveyard back into the main deck to target a face-up monster opponent controls and destroy it. It's kind of specific removal, but it is nice to have anyways just as an option. And 1 Catastor, it's a little bit more, again, self-sufficient, I think, than the Gusto-specific synchro monster, at least against most decks. I just like to have it as an option. If you prefer Armades, you could obviously run that instead. For the main boss monster of the deck, 3 Daigusto Sphreez. She sits at 2000 attack, and she has a couple effects. The first is that when she is summoned, you can target a Gusto monster in your graveyard and add it back to your hand, meaning that if you make her using a Pilica and a Gulldo, you can actually add back the Pilica and make her again next turn, which is kind of stupid, but it's really fun. And additionally, she can't destroy by battle, and your opponent takes all battle damage that you have taken from battles involving Gusto monsters. Well, that's kind of insane. This allows the deck to win by just burning your opponent to death by ramming repeatedly with Sphreez or your recruiters, and this is where the ability to recruit when they themselves attack becomes important. By using a combination of your various recruiters, you can actually inflict a ton of damage to your opponent just for having like a 2000 attack monster on board. So it's a really nice card. and it's important for the deck to run properly. The other 6 I have is 1 Psychic Nightmare. It's a win target, so it's important because you can make it off of using Pilica, and then it says once per turn, you can declare monster, spell, or trap, pick a card from your opponent's hand, and look at it, and if it's the type that you declared, it gains 1,000 attack until the end of your opponent's next turn, making it 3,400. It's important to have another 6 that doesn't require Gustos specifically, because that allows you to make it with Cleric to pull off the combo that I discussed in the beginning of the video, when I showed you Cleric and Griffin and such. For 7s, I have 1 Daigusto Egul. During your end phase, you can banish a wind monster to target a face-down card opponent controls and destroy it. It's a good card. It's only got 2,600 attack, so it's not the biggest, but it's bigger than some other level 7s, and I think its removal effect is pretty decent, so it's probably the best all-around level 7, but I also run 1 Black Rose Dragon just on the off case that you need to go into it, and you can alter your recruiting loop to try to end up with, like, a Gulldo and a Caam, so I just like it for that reason. I go back and forth between that and Clearwing, but for now I'm just running the Black Rose Dragon. So, and then we have 2 8s, which are both Chevalier de Fleur. You can only make monsters that require a Synchron tuner when you use Quickdraw Synchron, so Chevalier's really the option you have. I believe you can also make Junk Berserker, but that's not a wind monster, so you can't make it off using Pilica. And I think Chevalier de Fleur is just the best all-around one, because during your turn you can negate the activation of a spell and trap card to destroy it. So it's like Legendary Six Samurai Shien, but it only activates during your turn. It's a decent card. It's fun. You can make it 2 of it sometimes turn 1, and it's not uncommon to make 2 in the same game. For Xyz, I have 1 Muzurhythm the String Djinn. It is a wind monster, so it's important for use with Pilica, and it also has 1,500 attack, but it can double that to 3,000 when it attacks, so it's just good removal. And our last Xyz monster is 1 Leviair the Sea Dragon, and again, it's a wind monster. This deck banishes for several different effects. It's important. You can also, if you really wanted to, if you want to make a Leviair instead of like a Psychic Nightmare, in the event that you already use that and you want to do the Cleric Griffin thing, you could also do that, and then use this effect to special summon the Pilica that you banished using Cleric. And lastly, I have 1 Ultimate Axon Kicker. He's your Miracle Synchron fusion target. He can't be destroyed by card effects, and if he destroys monster by battle, you gain life points equal to the attack of the monster you destroyed, and he inflicts piercing battle damage. He is just absolutely a monster. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like it and subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment letting me know what you guys think of the deck. Until next time, see ya!